How are we doing this morning? That's great to hear. So welcome everybody to the 11th annual Columbus Neighborhood Best Practices Conference. Yep, round of applause. My name is Lyndon Young. I'm a freshman at Morehouse College, but I'm also a proud Columbusite, so I'm happy to see everybody here together in this room. I've been down in Georgia, and so just seeing all of these people in this room really inspires me, and it really reminds me of why I like to call Columbus my home. So like I said, this is the 11th annual Neighborhood Best Practices Conference. So a little bit of housekeeping. There's signs out there to the restroom, but if you get lost, there will be wonderful staff waiting to lead you and guide you to wherever you need to be. Lunch will be served right here in this room. We will also recognize the 20 Under 20 award winners during that time. A round of applause for the 20 Under 20. So this conference is hosted by the Columbus Department of Neighborhoods. So can we give them a round of applause? I know it's a lot of clapping, but there's a lot of pieces that made this happen today. So everybody is deserving of their time. And also our sponsor, Lowe's. You each received a raffle ticket for a Lowe's gift card, and the raffle will also be held during lunch. And then following lunch, there will be the Dan Charles Awards. So our theme this year is Neighborhoods Rising, Resilience Post-Pandemic. Today, we have planned a day of inspiration, resilience, building, learning, and networking with your neighbors. Be sure to look through your program, select which breakout room you want to attend and which one is best suited for you. Lastly, we will recognize our outstanding community service and volunteerism, right, with the previously mentioned Dan Charles Awards. So now I would like to introduce Carla Williams Scott. It is my pleasure to introduce you to the leader of the Department of Neighborhoods. Please give her a round of applause as she comes up.
A little adjusting here. There's a bit of a height difference, just a tad. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here with us today. It is good to see so many faces. This is the first time we've been in person since 2019. Woo! Thank you, Lyndon, for being up here and getting us started. And I think Lyndon shared with you that he was a student at Morehouse, but what I didn't hear him say, that he was one of our contestants of our Martin Luther King oratorical contest. And if you haven't had a chance, yes. If you haven't had a chance to hear his oration, I would encourage you to go back to our website. We'll put that link up because he's an amazing young man and somebody to watch. So we'll be looking for good things to come from you in the future, Lyndon. So again, good morning. As Lyndon shared, we are the Department of Neighborhoods. And when our mayor took office in 2016, he said his commitment was neighborhoods, neighborhoods, neighborhoods. And he created the Department of Neighborhoods. And since that time, we have been doing our very best to make sure that we keep our residents and community engaged and connected. This conference wouldn't be possible without our residents and all of our community leaders. And it's because of you that we are here today. It's through your commitment of sharing and collaboration that this conference continues to grow. I would like to thank our planning committee, our coordinator, Gail Gray, and all of my Department of Neighborhoods team. If you guys could stand so we can give you a round of applause. As Lyndon shared with you, this year our theme is Neighborhoods Rising, Resilience Post-Pandemic. Although I will tell you that our health commissioner said we are not post the pandemic. She said we're just on the tail end of it. So just know that it is still out there, but not as bad as we were 2 years ago. We all know that the last 2 years we have experienced many things: a global pandemic, vaccine hesitancy, closed schools, businesses, and places of worship. We learned a lot about each other. I know I learned a lot about myself during those 2 years. But through it all, most of all, we learned how resilient we are as a community and as a country. And so that's why we're here today. It is through all of this that in the Department of Neighborhoods, we work to help address issues while strengthening and supporting the residents of our community. We work with our neighborhood liaisons through our neighborhood pride centers, our 311 customer service call center, My Brother's Keeper, and the Commission on Black Girls, which just joined our department in June. We work to engage our young people. And this year, we held 9 community events through our Rise Up C Bus so that we could connect with our residents and continue to re-engage. And lastly, we work with our Community Relations Commission, focusing on discrimination and discrimination resolution for residents in our community. Our objectives for you today are that you will find resources and activities that are valuable for you, understand how to take care of yourself, and create a new post-pandemic framework. You'll hear some of that from our keynote. Recognize how we can make a difference in our community. Support, encourage, and celebrate the youth who are making a difference in our community. It is my hope that all of the young people that are joining us today will be doing this in years to come, when those of us that are not so young will be stepping aside. Provide your honest feedback for us when completing your conference evaluation. We look forward to being with you throughout the day, and there's more to come. And at this point, I would like to introduce you to our leader, my mayor, Mr. Andrew J. Ginther.
Good morning. What a great morning. It is so good to be back in person and back together. And it is great to see so many folks from all over this wonderful community here today. Thanks for taking the time. There are many things you could be doing on a beautiful Saturday morning, but you chose to be here to make our neighborhoods, which are the backbone of this city and this community, you chose to be here to do more for all of us, and I'm grateful for that. I see Judge Eileen Paley here and Columbus's Senator Herschel Craig. Good morning. Thank you all for being here, and so many great folks that are doing a great job for us. I want to thank Director William Scott, the Department of Neighborhoods, all of you. I'm so proud of the ways in which our community has recovered and is recovering, because I believe, particularly amongst our young people, no one has faced more disproportionate negative impacts of COVID than our young people. And we've been very proud to invest a significant amount of our resource dollars into young people, but I really view those as restorative investments that we're going to need to make over the next couple of years to get them back to where they were pre-pandemic, academically, socially, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Restaurants and businesses are open again and thriving. Employees are returning to the workplace. Kids are back in school, thank God. Traditions are back full throttle. And thanks to modern science and our incredible public health professionals, we now have a number of tools at our disposal. COVID is not in our rear view mirror yet, but it's manageable because of a vaccine and incredible healthcare systems, nurses and doctors that continue to help us move forward. In many cases, the pandemic widened and deepened the cracks in our cultural foundation. Access to healthcare, employment, savings, stable housing, healthy foods, education, internet, and more. All determine the extent to which individuals and families could weather the storm. And for far too many of these residents, our neighbors, daily life remains a struggle. Their burdens are heavier. Their hardships are greater. They deserve better. We're at a turning point as a community with the full benefit of hindsight and lived experience to right the wrongs of our past and build a more resilient future that's more inclusive of everybody in our community. To succeed, we need thoughtful, deliberate planning. We need purposeful, intentional action. We need the combined resources and determination of the entire community to achieve the greatest possible impact. That's where Opportunity Rising comes into play. It's the next phase of our equity agenda, and it outlines precisely how we'll direct our attention and resources to move the needle on our city's greatest challenges. It's designed to dismantle racism so that everyone in Columbus grows and prospers equitably. And it focuses on health, economic stability, and safe, resilient communities to help us achieve our goals. There are 21 aspirations across 3 of these categories with specific action items for each. Action items that can be quantified and evaluated as we progress and bolstered through continuous improvement. I encourage you to leverage what you are able to learn and share today to contribute to this ambitious undertaking. The city cannot accomplish anything on its own. We need all of our partners, public, private, and nonprofit, to pitch in and lend a helping hand. The only way we will reach our full potential is to include every family in every neighborhood in our success as a community. This November, we have the opportunity to approve 5 bond issues that will allow the city to invest $1.5 billion in neighborhood infrastructure and services that are critical to quality of life. Issue 14 focuses on health, safety, and infrastructure for $300 million. Issue 15, recreation and parks, $200 million. Issue 16, affordable housing, $200 million. Issue 17, public service, $250 million. Issue 18, public utilities, $550 million. These issues will not raise your taxes, but what they will do is enable us to purchase vital equipment and enhance city infrastructure, services, and facilities. We also have the opportunity to approve 3 charter amendments, issues 19, 20, and 21. These will improve the city's ballot initiative process to keep bad actors at bay. Does everybody remember that crazy issue 7 last year, where they were going to take hundreds of millions of dollars away from basic city services? They call themselves Pro Energy LLC. This issue will stop that from happening in the future. These issues will also speed up the hiring of diverse and qualified city employees while updating job titles and responsibilities to better reflect the reality of a contemporary workforce. I believe the public servants of this community ought to reflect the diversity of this community. And this issue will help us take that forward. And it will also help us modernize public meetings and offices to meet the needs and expectations of a diverse and dynamic community. The election's November 8th, and early voting has already started. The Franklin County Board of Elections has everything you need to know on how to get to the polls. You can vote early, in person, by mail, or on Election Day. Your vote is your voice. Whatever your choices are, your voices need to be heard. Every action we take to strengthen our shared social fabric moves us one step closer toward ensuring that everyone is included in our city's growth and prosperity. I truly do believe the next decade will be one of the most consequential in our city's history. If we have the courage, are brave enough to make some very tough decisions in the next 10 years, we're going to leave an incredible community for our children and grandchildren. But it will take courage. This community is going to grow and change dramatically, more so than ever any other time in our city's history. But that's why we need great neighborhood and community leaders. A wise woman once told me that people don't fear change, they fear loss. It is our job to make sure that our entire community embraces the change that is coming. It's coming regardless. We can put our heads in the sand and the change and growth will happen to us. But that's not who we are as a community. Never has been. We embrace change and growth. But let's make sure it reflects our values and our priorities. And we make sure that that growth, while it will be dynamic, let's make sure it's inclusive. And the investments we make are into people, into neighborhoods, and through the lens of equity, to make sure we have a brighter future for everybody in this community. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for letting me stop by.
Thank you, Mayor. It is my pleasure to introduce you to our keynote speaker, Dr. Amina Kemavor, affectionately known as Dr. K. Dr. Kemavor is an independently licensed professional clinical counselor. She has been working in the field of mental health and community services for over 27 years. Although I don't really believe that because she doesn't look old enough to be working in the field for 27 years. So I'm just leave that right there. Dr. Kemavor has an impressive record of evidence-based presentations, including Post-Pandemic Pandemonium, Addressing the Behavioral Health Practitioner's Fallout, and has served as an active leader in behavioral health, across the state of Ohio. Dr. Kemavor currently serves as the Vice President of Advocacy and Engagement at the Alcohol, Drug, and Mental Health Board. Adam H. of Franklin County. I also had the pleasure of hearing her on a panel back in May of this year with some of our young people at a panel called about Say Her Name, focusing on our Black girls and some of the things that have impacted them in our community. So it gives me great pleasure to invite Dr. Kemavor to join us and share a few words with you. Thank you.
I see there's a lot of water already up here. I did not know. Thank you for all of that thoughtfulness. Good morning. Good morning. Ooh, I get to see everyone from up here. This is wonderful. Thank you so much, Director William Scott, for having me, Mayor Ginther, for this opportunity. This is not going to be a boring keynote. All right, let me just let y'all know that right now. You already know from that experience we already had back in May that we're going to have a really great time. I'm going to use this prompter right here and kind of get into what I consider this to be like a bit of a God moment, because what I've been hearing right now, even though we have not spoken, is in direct alignment with what I am getting ready to share. And so I'm really excited about this. So before we get into that, I do want to acknowledge and just share with those, just really quickly, if you're not aware, a little bit more in detail about what the mission and vision of the Adam H. Board of Franklin County is. And so our Adam H. Board of Franklin County leads in the planning, funding, and evaluation of community-based recovery-oriented mental health and addiction prevention treatment services for all Franklin County residents. And this is our vision, and I truly hold this vision very closely, which is that all individuals and families in Franklin County can achieve an optimal mental health and wellness that is free from stigma. That's what makes it optimal right there. We've already taken stigma and judgment off the table and moved into acceptance. That's my revised version of our vision. With equitable access to quality community-based services and supports. And we are able to do this thankfully and gratefully through a network of providers that span over 30 across all of Franklin County who are on the front line providing behavioral health services on a daily basis. So we're gonna clap again for our providers. Yes. This is our awesome dynamic team, Advocacy and Engagement. We are a new team at the ADAM board, and I think my team's amazing. You know, I'm a little biased, but we are certainly rock stars. And our team, just in a nutshell, has the privilege of being what I consider this grassroots advocacy and engagement, community-based advocacy and engagement team of professionals that address areas like policy and legislation. We know that's critical to our own behavioral health as individuals, as communities, as neighborhoods. We need that. So Director Sarazuela leads us in that space. Dee Malone, she leads us in the space of faith-based and community engagement, like today, community engagement. And Director W. Shauna Gibbs leads us with regard to education and special initiatives. And we have our wonderful executive assistant that really holds us down and keeps us all together, Candace Carter, who is here today in the back. Raise your hand, Miss Candace. Candace does a great job at making sure that we are where we need to be and on time. All the details. So as we get into this morning, I do need to thank Gail. I think she stepped out, but the only question I had when I showed up today was, where's Gail? Because Gail has been seamless in making sure that I had every question answered, everything taken care of prior to getting here. So I definitely want to publicly thank her for all of her diligence as we get into our keynote today. So let's let this word here settle. Forward. I reached out to my nephew when I thought, like, this is what I want to talk about, moving forward. Like, we got to go forward. And I said, I need, some type of graphic art design that reflects moving forward. And he was like, yes, Auntie, what do you want it to look like? What colors do you want to use? And I was like, that's your job. And so he came up with this, and I said, yes, everything is moving forward. And so we're gonna see forward, not just in my language, but I hope that it will be something that you can hold on to and settle with and in as we continue through this particular time that we have together. So always trust the process. This is just a little funny little slide here, let y'all know about my process in my mind when I be thinking about stuff like this, okay? So first I thought, this is gonna be my title, Forward, Building Better Communities by Building Better Selves. Yes, we are going to do that. Also, that was too typical. So I said no. All right, forward, freeing up the weight and affecting change. What does that mean? I don't know, so I had to let that one go too. All right, forward, letting it go and taking it in. And then I was like, I feel like I've already taken too much in with this pandemic, so we gotta still let it go, it's not good enough. All right, then I went flat out, forward, this pandemic, which we are still in. Thank you for acknowledging that. And then I got real bold, forward, you can't hold us. Like pandemic, you can't hold us because we're still here, we're moving forward. So then that's where I settled on ushering in communities of resilience. So let's get past my process and move forward. So when I think about forward, I think about having vision. And in order to have vision, that means that you actually have to see. See not just physically, but with your heart, with your mind, with your spirit, with your soul. What does that look like? You have to think about and literally plan for the future. And then for those of you who know me, wisdom is my favorite word. If I don't settle on anything else in life, I need wisdom. All day, every day. That's how I govern how I move. But the pandemic came through and was like, thank you for your vision. Thank you for planning for the future. Thank you for your wisdom. Upside down, shift, right? All these things happen. Let's look at this is not an exhaustive list, but let's look at what has changed. Forever, childcare, education, employment, mental health, mental illness, physical health, physical illness, the supply chain, hello. There's still some stuff that we're going to the store and it's not there anymore, right? Transportation, forever changed, transportation. We couldn't even Uber when all this started. Personal relationships, that's heavy. I made sure not to put that one last because I don't want us to hang in there too hard, right? Personal finances, the workforce, all the workforces, right? Medicine has changed forever. And then access to what? You fill in the blank. Your access to what? Everything. Your access to what? You fill that in. Instead of an either or mindset, I thought about this pandemic in a means of, both and. We have been isolated. That is a fact. We were quarantined, locked down, whatever the language was, we were apart, right? But we also had an opportunity to build stronger bonds with people. There was indeed loss of life. We've already heard that be shared. There was loss of life either because of COVID-19 or during the course of this pandemic. But babies have been born. Our next generation is here, right? We've been feeling crowded, right? Like, get out my space. I need some more room. But then we've also had time to spend more time with family. We've learned new technology. I'm sure if we sweep across this whole room, we probably come up with a good 30, 40 different platforms, modalities, softwares, everything that are just doing their best to keep us together, right? Okay. But that means that we've also been required to be more conveniently connected. And that's not always the best thing, right? Because then everybody expects you to be available. And then our routines have been disrupted. Have they not? This is something that's forever changed as well. Our routines have been disrupted. It's hard to plan for something when it keeps changing. We've been moving at a rapid pace in a lot of areas of our lives. And we've also had an opportunity to slow down. I'll give you, before I go back to this hobbies thing, I'll give you an example of slowing down. And I don't even know if this is a movie, but my dad and I, we quote movies like all the time. We cannot leave one conversation without quoting Raiders of the Lost Ark at least 3 times. So this whole slow down thing, my dad told me, I don't know if it was a movie or what, but there's a gentleman, this is way before the pandemic. He's at his computer at work. He's feverishly just typing, getting the work done. And all of a sudden the computer just starts smoking. And then it catches on fire. And he slides back from the computer and he's like, America, slow down. And we were thinking that before this pandemic, right? Some of us have developed new hobbies or maybe created a new hobby. Has anybody created a new hobby or found something new that they like and just been like, I didn't even know that I knew what this was, let alone that I would like it, right? One of my new hobbies was pickling. Does anybody know what that is? Pickling, where you get the water and the vinegar and the salt and the sugar and you boil it and you pour it over your chopped vegetables and you let it sit. And then you put it in the refrigerator. I just gave y'all a whole recipe. You put it in the refrigerator until it gets cold, then you're ready to put it on whatever your little, food item is. I know that my husband came home from work and looked in the refrigerator like, what are all these jars of fruits and vegetables and what's going on in here? I was like, it's pickling. I'm a pickler now. Pickled beets, pickled carrots, pickled onions, pickled garlic. We're pickling, right? No. I did it, but as a process, it did slow me down. Some of us are responding robotically. Really, to be honest, let's just be honest. Some of us are waking up, going to work, making this call, doing this, doing that. We're like robots a little bit. We're not as intentional as maybe we used to be or maybe we can be. But at the same time, we've kind of increased our intentionality for that exact same reason. So we can have a both and world. Right? And that's where we kind of are right now. We're in both and instead of either or. Overall, we've had social, not emotional distance. I'm not even going to explain that for y'all. Let that mean whatever it needs to mean for you. But not emotional distance. Because when you're connected to something or someone, there's a connection. But when this pandemic has come upon us, it disrupted that. Social, not emotional distance. So, backwards is a movement. Does this word look funny to y'all? Why? Because it's backwards? But it's true. I did it on purpose. It's very intentional. That was my intentionality for this pandemic, okay? Here's the words that we've exhausted ourselves with during this pandemic. Pivot. I hope I don't even say it anymore after this. Because that's all we've been doing is pivoting. Reimagine. Reimagine. We have to reimagine. Honestly, I feel like reimagine is a bit of a hopeful word because when I hear reimagine, it automatically makes me think about some, huge grass of meadows and butterflies hopping from one piece of grass to another and a big tree blooming in the background that only blooms every once in a pandemic. Reimagine, right? And innovative. You gotta be innovative. We gotta think outside the box. We gotta do something different. Okay, I thought we were doing that before the pandemic, but now we gotta be more innovative. These are unprecedented times. Mayor Ginther, I know you said this, right? Somewhere at some time, you've said these are unprecedented times because that's the truth. They are. This is our lifetime. You're on mute. Every single person, you would not be telling the truth if you have not told someone since 2020 you are on mute. Or my favorite part is when they're not on mute, but you still can't hear them. And then why are we yelling you're on mute? They can still hear you. It's a whole thing. You're on mute. Social distancing, I remember working as a clinical director during the time of this pandemic and flipping through my Amazon, app on my phone, trying to find the most empathic social distance signs to put on the floor as we welcome our clients back in the middle of a pandemic. That was not easy. That was very challenging. The new normal, right? I think we were saying this before the pandemic, but then the pandemic was like, oh no, for real, this is a new normal. This is a new one. We don't even know what's going on right now, and that's how new it is. And then we gotta get back. This one is my least favorite, if I was to be honest with you, because to say we gotta get back, I always think, can we move backwards and forwards at the same time? Right? There was that dance, I'm not even gonna try to do it, but it's the one where you go back and forth, but you still ain't going back and forth at the same time, right? And where I hear people say, we gotta get back, we just gotta get back. I'm like, no, I wanna go forward because there's some stuff that I've already overcome since 2020. I'm in a different space in my life. There's some losses that have happened. I don't wanna start grieving that process all over again. I don't wanna get back. Because when you go back, you don't get to choose what you lose. So I don't wanna get back. I wanna move forward. So let's talk about forward. Forward, it means basically to advance. We could say to advance ourselves, to progress, to propel, to move in one direction. And as a proud Kentucky State University HBCU alum, onward and upward is our motto. It's our homecoming today in Little Frankfort, Kentucky. Onward and upward, that means I'm moving forward, but I'm going up. Onward and upward. We see it everywhere on anything you purchase, Kentucky State is gonna say that, onward and upward. Motivated and motivation. Anybody who's ever been to counseling or is a counselor or is a therapist, this is what we talk about when we think about goals, setting goals, providing interventions. We talk about the motivation behind the goal. It's great to have a goal, but what's gonna motivate you to achieve that goal? How are you gonna get there? And my favorite part, I challenge myself with this is a great goal. What are the barriers that may pop up, that may keep me from achieving that goal? Because that's just as important. What are the possible setbacks? Okay, please, I'm not the only person. I'm gonna date myself right here. Please raise your hand if you know what this is. Yes, chiclets. And that's how you pronounce it, chiclets. Chiclet candy was the candy back when I was coming up, and chiclets were how much? A penny. That's why I felt like everybody could afford a chiclet, because even if I stepped out of my house and I got towards the end of the block, I could find a couple pennies on the street and go to the corner store and get me a pack of chiclets, right? I'm seeing heads nod. Yeah, I could have me some chiclets. And so I thought about chiclets when our team clinically was coming back into the building to serve either remotely or in person when we got to that part of this pandemic. And I got the first phone call maybe like a weekend from someone on my team, one of my licensed professionals saying, Doc, this has happened, my spouse, my child, my this, my that. Can I just work from home today? I need to be able to, access this. I can still see all my clients. We already been doing video for 3 months, help, is that okay? I was like, yeah, let's go through your calendar. Let's make sure you're okay first because you are going to be responsible for serving other people who are in vulnerable situations right now too. So yes, yes to you, yes to the next person that asks, yes to you, yes to everyone. Yes, the answer is yes. I called it Chicklet Grace because everybody gets it. It's just Chicklet Grace. I'm gonna write a book about it, Chicklet Grace. Think about where you can make room at your workplace, with your place of worship, in your families, with your friends. Where can you make room to extend some Chicklet Grace? Because think about it, you need it too, right? You need it too. We all need grace. We all need it. Now, keep in mind, when I'm talking about Chicklet Grace in the workplace, I'm not talking about people who be abusing the system and just be like, I want to do whatever I want, whenever I want. I'm talking about things, legal, ethical, moral, safe. That's my 4 things. Morality is subjective to who is saying it and believes whatever you believe, but legal, ethical, moral, safe. Chicklet Grace. You get it. Resilience. Mayor, you just mentioned these 2 words. You said toughness and difficulty. And this is the definition of resilience: the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties and toughness. I am struggling. I'm struggling because it says quickly. We know it's difficult where we are. We are not, thank goodness, where we were. But it is still very tough and still very challenging. I wish this would stop at the capacity to recover, period. What if it did? The capacity to recover, period. We know it's tough, we know it's difficult, but we are recovering, I think is what you also shared, right? We are recovering. So how are we doing this individually? Work-life balance. We've already known that our routines have been disrupted, but we still have to create a work-life balance. You can't be 100% in all places at all times. So whatever that looks like for you, make sure to enforce that. Have a commitment to your own self-care. The folks around you already know if you're not taking care of yourself. They may not say anything to you, but they know. Okay? They know. They just may not say nothing to you. So make a self-care commitment so that you can be optimal wherever you are for the time that you are. And please don't try to always be on, because that's not healthy either. And then life purpose. What is your life purpose? What's the target? What's the goal? Are you activating in that right now? Whenever it's time for you to no longer be with us, what would you be able to say? Wow, like I did this well, I did that well, I have great relationships. What's your life purpose? Are you activating in that on a daily basis? Pay attention to your physical health. Physical health and mental health go together. We know that. Physical health and mental health go together. And then education. When I say education, I don't necessarily mean the traditional component, which is obviously a win as well, but like increasing your knowledge base in something new, in something that you may be interested in. I firmly believe that everyone has a life purpose. There are things that we take for granted, like going to the store, again, supply chain and things just showing up on the shelves. Somebody did a lot to get that there, right? So increasing your knowledge base in one area or another. I went to lunch or breakfast or something with a colleague of mine, and she said, what books are you reading right now? And I was like, the Bible? And it was true. I like to read, but I'm not really a book reader. I like to read research articles. It is nothing for me to print off a research article, 20, 30 pages, kick back on the back patio and just start reading through them and analyzing them and who is this Norm Doan and who is this professor and what are you saying and, getting into that. Because later on, I know I'm gonna need all this knowledge, like Jeopardy knowledge. I'm gonna need all this knowledge at some point, right? But I like to do those things and I'm okay with that. And then this also looks like a social network. We need our social relationships, our personal relationships. Who is in your network that is actively propelling you forward? Who is in your network that's propelling you forward? I got a spiritual mentor, education mentor, leadership mentor, work-life balance mentor. I can't do this on my own. I'm not here on my own. So who is in your life that's propelling you forward? Woo! this busy slide. Don't we love our social determinants of health? I can't leave this space without bringing this up, but I'm gonna make this real practical for us. We know what they are. This is probably not the first time that we've seen this, but when we look at this wheel and we think about community leaders and providers of healthcare or any other care, our protective factors that help mitigate the risks that we may, develop a mental illness, for example, or engage in risky behavior like substance use. And knowing that any one of these could become a crisis in our life at any time. Pandemic taught us that real quick. I'm gonna give you a practical way that my PCP, my primary physician, runs through this every single time I meet with her. She'll start in any one of these. I feel like she just has this memorized. She's like, oh, hey, how's it going? Everything's going all right? Yeah, how's your family? How's your husband? You still living in the same place? Did you move? I'm like, yeah, actually, we did move. How's that going? Oh, yeah, how you like your neighborhood? Whole conversation about that. Oh, how's your friend? How's your family? When's the last time you saw them? All those relationships going well? Is this person still in your life? I think you said you were a friend of yours that did this or did that. How's that going? We're already into the second part of this. What about your financial stability? Because we know finances have a huge impact on how we live, how we govern our lives. How's that going for you all? I just heard that the church has a program for that. We go to the same church. I heard the church. I said I did hear about that. What about the other parts of your life? Healthcare. You said you have a counselor. I do. Are you still seeing her? I am. Is it going good? It is. Or I am, and no, it's not. I'm just in a funk. It don't have nothing to do with her, right? I'm just being me. And she knows I'm over more degrees in education. So she'll say things like that we can relate to because she is, a medical physician. And she'll ask me things like, so, how is keeping up with your license going? You got some CEUs that you're trying to get? What's going on with that? Have you been to a new training? You get certified in anything else new? Because she knows I love to learn and get certified and stuff. But she's already tapped every single part of this wheel. Before she even gets to, know what's going on, why are you here? Or is this a regular checkup? Or let me check on this. She's already asked me all this. That is very practical. That's what we mean by when providers and community leaders use these type of interventions. Now, that was a practical intervention that she just does. If your provider doesn't do that, do it for them and make them ask you those questions. So our communities, like I said, I like to read research articles. I didn't get into all the research articles, but I put 4 up here. I want to see if you notice any commonalities. Where we live matters for our health, neighborhoods, and health. Creating healthy neighborhoods, research, health, well-being, and place. I like that place word. Elements of a healthy neighborhood, the built environment and health. Fostering healthy neighborhoods across the community development, health, and financial well-being sectors. What commonality do you see in these 4 research article intervention topics? Anybody? Health, healthy neighborhoods. Anything else? You. You are the commonality in all of that. You are the commonality in a healthy neighborhood, in a healthy community, in a healthy workplace, in a healthy family. You. And if not you, then who? I say to my current team and teams long ago colleagues, if you keep asking the same questions to all these different folks and nobody has an answer, then you might just be the answer. It might be on you to help respond to that question that you keep asking that nobody knows the answer to. It's possible for it to be you. Now, we're gonna be present. I appreciate y'all because I've been looking and y'all been looking at me, so y'all been real present. But I want us to be even more intentional in our presence. And I asked Gail when she was talking to me, I like to do presenter briefings to make sure I fully understand the context of what I'll be sharing. And I said, Gail, now you asking a whole licensed professional clinical counselor to get up here and talk at a neighborhood conference. We're gonna talk about ourselves and how we impact where we live, all those social determinants. So this is the exercise that's gonna just roll us right on out of this conversation here. But I want you to be present. So if you have your phone, maybe just turn it upside down. I promise it'll be all right for like a minute. And I want you to read through some of these memes. I promise there's at least one that's a little chuckle. But don't speak. Don't move. Get settled. Be present. And as I click, I want you to read through them, and we'll be done. Y'all ready? All right, let's be present. Thank you, everyone.
Wow, thank you, Dr. K. I think that really sets the tone for the rest of the day. And so I would encourage you now to take an opportunity to visit some of our resource tables right before we begin our sessions, or oops, maybe not. Maybe we're going right into our session as I look at the time. But again, thank you, Dr. K, for those words. We have several presenters here looking at trauma through the lens of youth with our Franklin County Youth Council, looking at the changing landscape in neighborhoods. And the OSU College of Social Work will be hosting a World Cafe. And if you go through your program or the sheet that you have in your folder, it will give everything that is here today. So I would encourage you to find what is beneficial for you, attend that session, and then join us back here in this room at 12:15 for lunch, our 20 Under 20 awards, and our Dan Charles Award winner. Thank you very much and enjoy the conference. Well, good afternoon again. For those of you that are new to joining us today, I'm Carla Williams Scott, Director for the City of Columbus Department of Neighborhoods, and I'd like to thank you for joining us at our 11th Neighborhood Best Practices Conference. This is the first year that we've been in person since 2019, so we are excited to see everybody here and be able to see smiling faces and not be in a little square, Hollywood square, that I think most of us have been doing for the last few years. Joining me is my partner in crime, Todd Diefendorfer, who's the Deputy Director for our department, and we are going to be recognizing our 20 Under 20 award nominees. And I just want to share with you a little bit about, there's a little write-up in the program, and I know some of you may have received a program and we may have run out, but we're going to try to get some more printed up. But we just want to recognize our 20 Under 20 awards honor outstanding young people who contribute to their communities through exemplary acts of volunteerism and advocacy. These young people were recognized in the categories of arts, faith-based service, business, working with seniors, education in school, and working with youth. And so with that, we're going to get started recognizing this outstanding group of individuals. And I already talked to some young people. I've been practicing names. If I make a mistake, charge it to my head and not my heart, or charge it to my old eyes. So with that, we're going to get started. First, we have Bilal Ali. Bilal is at Metro Early College High School, and he created videos and other content for various organizations, including My Brother's Keeper, where he was employed last summer, as well as working with Somali Can, where he edited and revised documents that contributed to program design. Bilal is only 13 years old. Is that true, Bilal? You're only 13 years old? Wow. Okay. You've done more in your 13 years than I've done, and I'm not going to say how many years. But Bilal is only 13 years and has served in leadership roles as a content creator and certified tourism ambassador. He plans on working, and he's worked with completed curriculum requirements for both 7th and 8th grade in 1 year. So congratulations, Bilal. Our next 20 under 20 awardee is Yesh Cosmel. Did I get that right? Cosme? Yesh Cosme. Yesh attends Ohio Connections High School and is a 9th grader. He became involved as a beloved child and neighborhood of Ganther's Place on the South Side, where he attended community events, helping and greeting everyone with his huge, warm smile. He supported his accomplishments and overcame challenges of autism. Yesh served his community by picking up litter and helping his neighbors with lawn care and gardening. Thank you, Yesh, and congratulations. Our next awardee is Leila Cabas, right. See, I knew I'd get that right. Leila is a sophomore at Columbus State Community College, right here. As an area commissioner, she has been an asset to the commission from her first day. She's a third-year student term starting in August 2020. She participates in numerous Department of Neighborhood training programs to better serve her commission on the commission committees that include zoning, planning, and communications. Congratulations, Leila. Our next awardee, is Kahara Takashi. I get that right? Thank you. Kahara is a freshman at Ohio State and has selflessly given of her time of over 200 hours for the past summers at local nonprofits' free summer lunch camp, serving children facing poverty. She has energetically poured herself into her time building lifelong, meaningful relationships, all while juggling an intense cross-country summer practice schedule. She gets up every morning very early and serves her community prior to all of that work. So congratulations, Kahara. We have a few individuals that are not here with us today, were not able to be with us today, and I will share their names at the end of the program. And our next honoree is Ethan Howe. Ethan is a senior at Dublin Jerome High School and has been working behind the scenes working with MASH, Military and Service Heroes, to promote fundraisers, networking, and projects assisting at their warehouse. He comes up with ideas to help their mission of helping military heroes. He has volunteered at Colony for Cats for 10 years. He has his own business, Ethan Howe Edits, where he does social media blasts and graphic designs for sports. Congratulations, Ethan. I'm kind of feeling a little like an underachiever already. I don't know about any of you guys, but I think our future is in good hands. Next, we have Timothy Walsh. Mr. Timothy, are you here with us? No? Timothy's not here? All righty. Well, we will follow up. Okay. Our next awardee is Arsima Bilay. Did I get that right? Arsima is a senior at Westerville North High School. Is Arsima with us? Nope. Oh. Okay. Great. All righty. Thank you. Our next 20 under 20 awardee is Gigi Odorosio. Did I get it right? Odorosio. Gigi is in the 10th grade and attends Bishop Watterson High School. She and her thespian troupe dedicate their free time to make about 600 sandwiches per month. Additionally, Gigi volunteers her time to Hope Hollow. Hope Hollow's mission is to offer welcome, share hospitality, and hope by providing lodging, meals, transportation assistance, and emotional support, all this at no cost, to cancer patients and their loved ones. Congratulations, Gigi. Our next awardee is Kennedy Watkins. Is Kennedy with us today? There you are. Hello, Miss Kennedy. Kennedy is a sophomore in college and was inspired to do a service project for students in Barbados. Kennedy decided to use this inspiration for her Gold Award project, Let's Code Together. She made lesson plans for her project and taught elementary students through Zoom classes. She led the students using a Scratch block program that allowed them to develop games and small videos using block code. Throughout the course, she went through coding vocabulary, introduced students to the STEM field. Kennedy founded Gilded Tees. Gilded Tees is a small, loose teeth company here in Central Ohio. Congratulations, Kennedy. Our next awardee is Cameron Evans. Is Cameron with us today? There we are, Cameron. Cameron is a freshman at the University of Cincinnati. Cameron has served as a member of the Franklin County Youth Council for 3.5 years. During his time with Franklin County Youth Council, Cameron has participated in the Keep It Moving Youth Movement Project. He has worked with the Franklin County Youth Council Health and Wellness Youth Series, and numerous service projects with essential care workers at OSU Hospital, Star House, and the Mid-Ohio Food Bank. Cameron also spoke as a panelist and presented for the Franklin County Youth Council at the City of Columbus Department of Neighborhood's 2021 Lunch and Learn series on access to racial justice in Columbus, and was the youth keynote speaker for the 2022 NAMI Walk. Congratulations, Cameron. Emanuela Francique. Is that Emanuela here? Emanuela. Emanuela is a student, as an 11th grader at Columbus Alternative High School. She is a young teen who is deeply committed and dedicated to her community and is working on creating an organization called Small Hit, Big Impact that will empower youth leaders in her community. Congratulations, Emanuela. Oops. I got water falling out on me. Our next awardee is Tykees Cox. Tykees? Tykees is a graduate of the Charles School at Ohio Dominican and has been very instrumental in the Franklin County Youth Council's signature event, Trauma from the Lens of Youth, and facilitating youth-led teen suicide prevention trainings. Sources of strength. Tykees is a spoken word artist and motivational speaker and uses his creative talents to embolden other youth to apply themselves and put their best foot forward. He has served on the Franklin County Youth Council for 3 years. Congratulations, Tykees. And he brought his own cheering section with him. Our next 20 under 20 awardee is Nashida Corley. Nashida is a senior at Centennial High School and has over 300 hours of service to her church community with God Lover Ministries. She also has been a teacher or office helper at Centennial High School for the past 2 years. She participated in the Black Girl SOAR and the Ohio State University Neuroscience Program. Congratulations, Nashida. Okay. Our next awardee is Zalika Obayuwana. Obayuwana. Thank you. Zalika attends World Language Middle School and is in 8th grade. She's 13 and has co-written a culturally inclusive book series with her 2 younger sisters called Zakira Presents. She frequently makes presentations and engages with youth at the Meet the Author events with the goal of inspiring them that they have gifts and talents that they can set goals and reach for themselves. Congratulations, Zalika. And so there are 2 more behind her. So we don't do this alone as a family. We come as a group. And so our next awardee is Zahara Obayuwana. Zahara is a 6th grader at Ecole Kenwood French 4th grader? No? Okay. Well, I'm just reading what they wrote for me. Come on, you're a 4th grader? I was boosting you up. My goodness. They have 6th grade for both of you guys. I thought maybe you were twins. But Zahara is a 4th grader at Ecole Kenwood French Immersion Elementary School who co-wrote a series of reading activity books that encourages readers to practice empathy, healthy cultural curiosity, and appreciation, and foster a spirit of community building and global citizenship, and celebrate self-empowerment, diversity, and inclusion. Congratulations, Zahara. There's more for you. And rounding out the trio is Zakia Obayuwana. Zakia is in the 6th grade. Did I get this right? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Zakia is in the 6th grade, a 6th grader at World Language Middle School. one-of-a-kind books that she was participated in writing one-of-a-kind books that promote global appreciation in friendly ways. This child-friendly book series is providing the children of Ohio and beyond a space to see themselves celebrated and to be seen by their peers. Congratulations, Zakiya. And our final nominee, awardee, is Yosan Afwerki. Yosan? Yosan Afwerk. Did I get that right? Yosan is a freshman at The Ohio State University and has been pursuing opportunities related to biomedicine and strives to become a physician. She is volunteering in various healthcare roles. Alongside research and bioscience program at Ohio State, at Ohio Health Hospital, volunteering at the Columbus Free Clinic, the James Cancer Hospital, as well as various other volunteer roles, which include the Mid-Ohio Food Bank and GRIN, Gahanna Residents in Need. Congratulations, Yosan. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired just reading all of this. We also had a few individuals that are not with us today. I want to make sure, because I don't want to not call out somebody that is here. Icy Berry was another one of our awardees. Icy? Is Icy here? Okay. Icy is an 11th grade student at Cristo Rey and has participated on the Ohio General's Teen Ambassador Board, including outreach to inform and assist working with the voting process. Icy is a library volunteer, assisting with programming ideas, helping peers, and becoming available to assist. Icy participates in programs that better community and perform outreach to help Columbus grow. So congratulations, Icy, and thank you for being here to accept that award. And then we had Isha Newpain. Isha's not here with us today, but Isha is a sophomore at Columbus College of Art and Design. And Isha taught students at Red Oak Elementary School about the Nepali Bhutanese culture and engaged in several projects with students, including basket weaving and sculpture. Her work continues to tell a narrative and educate those on the new American experience, and especially the youth experience. Congratulations, Isha. And lastly, also wasn't able to join us today, Christina Ma. Christina is a sophomore at Columbus School for Girls, and she is advocating to ensure that students' voices are heard by helping to shape education policy. She's worked with 2 state representatives to draft legislation to add a student representative to the State Board of Education. She is helping to develop a game app to help 5 million Americans with autism make friends and gain and retain employment. So congratulations, Christina. And I think we got everybody. Can we give our 20 under 20 awardees one more round of applause? I always share with my team that we always need to make sure that our young people are involved in not only our civic engagement process, but in community activism. And I think we've seen today that we have a group of folks that are doing just that. At this point, I would also like to take a point of personal privilege to recognize a couple of our elected leaders that are here with us this afternoon. I see Councilmember Emmanuel Remy. Are you still here, Councilmember? Yep, nope. He was here earlier. And State Representative Latina Humphrey for joining us. I don't know if they're still here, but. Our next award is the Dan Charles Award, and I'm not sure if our recipient was able to make it. I think she had an emergency and was not able to be here with us. But I just want to share with you a little bit about the award and who our winner is. The Dan Charles Award was first presented in 2010 and recognizes community leaders who engage with fellow residents, diverse stakeholders, and work in the city of Columbus for the betterment of our community. The award is named after Dan Charles, longtime and respected Southside resident. The Dan Charles Award honors leaders who demonstrate a strong vision, are engaged, and possess a desire for transformative communities. We are proud to announce that the 2022 Dan Charles Award winner is Ms. Peggy Williams. Ms. Peg was affectionately known as Ms. Peg, also the mayor of Linden, because Ms. Peg is at everything that we do in the community in Linden. Ms. Peg has been involved with the South Linden Area Commission and also currently works with the Ohio Historical Society. So we'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate Ms. Peg, although she couldn't be here with us today, and we'd like to still congratulate her. Thank you. And this is her award, and we will make sure that she gets it. All righty. Thank you.